Great, thanks, Ed.
Thank you. Thanks, Jonathan. It might not be 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. So, as Jonathan said, my name's Ed Moore. I work for Equita. I'm sure most of you out there have probably heard of Equita, and certainly, obviously, of enforcement agencies and what we do. For the last 3 or 4 months, we've been working closely with Dawn and Jonathan with an aim to try and change people's impressions of the industry. Equita are one of the oldest enforcement agents within the country, and one of the largest as well. We have approximately 400 enforcement agents working primarily council tax and road traffic debts. Now, whatever your thoughts are on enforcement agents and the practices and so on, the industry is changing. We've recognised that it has to change. As with things like vulnerability, there are new classifications, new things which are coming into effect, new legislations and so on. So we've recognised that it has to change. There's still a long, long way to go. My role as social value manager is completely non-fee earning. I was brought into the company purposely to use my previous experience within the enforcement industry to try and change people's opinions and to put some new processes in place. So prior to me being at Equita, I was at Marston's as a self-employed enforcement agent. I spent 2.5 years as an agent, and during that time, I saw all sorts of things. Now, whenever I talk to people about this, they usually say, "Oh, you must have some stories to tell." And yeah, the truth is, yeah, there is stories. There's a lot of stories. I can tell you all about the times when I've been kicked, punched, spat at, bitten, and so on. But that's kind of water off a duck's back to an enforcement agent. It's almost expected. But what isn't expected is when you walk into a house and you see a 2 or a 3-year-old running around with a dirty nappy on with no carpets, no curtains, dirt all over the floor, parents at 8 o'clock in the morning that might be drunk or intoxicated. There's nothing that can prepare you for that. And it's those cases that we are looking to try and help, which we can do through working with organisations such as yourselves. Some of the things which we're doing and have put in place are quite unique to the industry. We like to think that we're leading on this. I'm certainly the only person that we're aware of in the industry which has been recruited solely to work on social value and vulnerability as a one-off job rather than just adding it on as a bolt-on to something else which someone's doing. So what we're doing, we're in the process of redoing our welfare team. We realised fairly soon into me arriving that actually the welfare team is fairly dated. We've got processes which have been in place for sort of 7, 8 years, and the actual vulnerability policy and so on is about 6 years old as well. And like I say, a lot of things have changed in that time. So what we've done, or are in the process of doing, is redoing our welfare team. We're actually moving it from Northampton, so we're going to have some based in Northampton, some based in our office in Birmingham, and some based in our office down in Somerset. Now, the reason for the split on this is in Northampton, we have about 80 people in our call centre. And what that gives us is a very busy environment, and it means that there's a lot of background noise and so on, and we find that vulnerable cases aren't getting the best what they deserve and being able to explain what their needs might be. So with having a couple of quieter offices, it means we can forward those calls and get them dealt with by specialists in other areas in much quieter environment where more time can be spent dealing with each case. The way we see this working, or one of the ways we see this working, is we're in the process of getting a dedicated third sector phone line put in. Now, this won't be for any of your individual customers and clients to use. It will be for you lot as caseworkers, for Jonathan, and for other people in other third sectors to ring up and say, we've got this issue, we found this person. Effectively, what we're going to be doing is taking your word for it. We'll say, okay, and the case will go on hold straight away. Simple as that. Okay? It will go on hold for 28 days. If for any reason you're contacting us and you can't get through to the welfare team, if it's a Sunday afternoon or something, and for some reason you can't get through to the welfare team, everyone in our call centre has the power to then put the case on hold for 7 days. And then what we will do is get someone from our welfare team to make contact within that 7 days.